How you guys doing? All right, you guys should have a full press release with the names and titles. If you need them, let me know after. I can get you a proper spelling. Thank you all for coming and being here as we release alarming new e-bike collision statistics impacting our city and highlight a first-of-its-kind safety program. This free course developed by the Huntington Beach Police Department is designed to improve student safety through hands-on training in a controlled environment. We'll begin with a few brief remarks from the speakers you see here. Please hold your questions until the end, when all speakers will be available for one-on-one interviews after the program. To start off, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Pat Burns.
Thank you all for coming. As in most communities, we've seen a rapid rise in e-bike usage. With this, public safety issues have arose, and it's something we can't afford to miss or ignore any longer. I've seen too many kids. Just recently, I saw several kids just blow right through a red light, clueless to how close they came to getting slaughtered by the oncoming cars. And they're getting more daring with their wheelies, and they're popping the front wheels up and going faster. So Huntington Beach has had the most crashes in the state with 147 last year, and we've already exceeded that, and we're not even to July. It's anticipated that in 2025 we'll have over 160. So that's why the city is stepping up. The county's first police-led student e-bike safety program, which you'll see and hear about the details in a little bit here. In 2023, our city council took action and updated our municipal code, giving our police department broader authority to issue civil and criminal citations, up to $500 fine, and impounding for unsafe and or juvenile-ridden bikes, even on private property. But we're still seeing too many kids injured in preventable causes. It still kind of surprises me that we haven't had any deaths that I know of in Huntington Beach from the e-bikes. It's amazing to me seeing the way some of the riders have pushed the limits to safety. But I'm proud to see our Huntington Beach PD being at the forefront of this issue, and hopefully that'll lead to other cities across the country. We'll pay attention to see what we're doing to protect and educate our youth here. So now I'd like to introduce and bring up to the podium to speak our Chief of Police, Chief Parra. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So nothing's more important to us than the safety of our youth. They're the future. They are everything for our future and for the success of our future. So having looked at some statistics over the years, we have realized that they've doubled in the last 2 years. The accidents have doubled with e-bikes. And e-bikes, as you know, are getting more and more popular across the country. They're certainly more popular in Huntington Beach. And we have done many traditional enforcement efforts. We've done educational efforts. We've done warning efforts. We have gone out and conducted enforcement operations. We've started programs with the schools for e-bike registration. We've done bicycle education courses. But we're still realizing the numbers are still trending higher. So we want to do something about that. Because as I stated before, there's nothing more important than our youth. So we have decided the PD has brought forward a program that we are leading a e-bike education program, and it's going to be the first probably in the state. I don't know about the nation, but and I'm hopeful it's wildly successful, because if we can educate our youth to be safer riders, to be more obedient to rules, regulations, and just to go out there and do what we all did as kids, have fun but be safe, then our goal is achieved. And I would like to introduce Sergeant Mike Thomas, who's the architect of this program. He'll give you some of the details. So here's Mike Thomas.
Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Chief Parra, for helping us to implement this program. So I'm Sergeant Mike Thomas with Huntington Beach PD. So a little bit about this course today. As mentioned, this course is free. It's open to the public. We want to make it accessible for all riders. The statistics that we are looking at from our city, the alarming statistics, majority of, or I'd say 50% of all riders under the age of 18 contributed to the bulk of our e-bike crashes in our city. And so we've developed this program just like you wouldn't hand someone a vehicle code or an instruction manual to operate a vehicle. We feel it's very important to not only get the rules of the road training, which we convey in this training as well, but also some, in a way like a behind the wheel or a hands-on training. But from the police department's point of view of just working in those collision factors that ultimately contribute to serious injuries and could potentially lead to death. We want to get ahead of that. We want to be proactive, and we want to raise awareness. So each instructor that you see here today, out on the course, they've been through what's called a post-certified course. So that's the California Police Officer Standards and Commission. It's the gold standard of training in our state for law enforcement. The only one statewide. It's a 40-hour rigorous course. But more importantly, each of these instructors, majority of them have kids or at least supervised kids through like nieces and nephew type relationships. So they have a big heart to ensure that their young riders are out on the roadway and being safely. So they believe in the mission of safety and want to reinforce that. So some of the things that the kids are learning on the course today. So we have 5 different exercises here. Each exercise has its own purpose. We're not just throwing cones out here to have them get through the course successfully. We want to reiterate some of the things that you see out in the real world, such as if someone were to open a car door, we have a reaction time drill. Also, like an emergency braking, if a vehicle were to pull out in front of one of these riders on the roadway, how would you react to that? So we talk about proper braking and how to do that safely. Also, helmet use is a big factor here, and we have Amy Frias coming on after me from Chalk, but one of the things that they first ask when they have an emergency department visit from a pediatric patient is, were they wearing a helmet? So helmet use is huge, and we reiterate that. We actually have the parents show up here, so the riders aren't just dropped off by their parents. We actually have the parents out here paired up with the instructor the entire time, so that way the instructor can communicate and convey the safety training to not only the rider but also to the child, because as the police department we want to get that good education out to these riders. We also want to get it out to the parents so they can reinforce good riding and safe riding at home when they're out in the community. We've actually had parents get on these e-bikes that haven't even rode them themselves, and it's an eye-opening experience for not just the rider but also for the parents. Something that we did to kind of implement this program and get it started off in the right way and know how to attack it is we started keeping stats. And so there's a lot of agencies in California that haven't meticulously been keeping e-bike collisions versus standard bikes. So about 3 years or so ago, I started making sure that we were separating not just e-bike from standard bikes, but also the e-motorcycles, the vehicles that have pegs on them that don't have pedals, that are not legal for street use. So we've separated that because the key component is in order to address a problem, you got to know what the problem is, and who do you have to get the education to, and that's where the stats come in with the 50% of the riders that we see are under age of 18. So this is why we have this program here today. Lastly, the school districts have been very supportive. We have a mandatory program for written testing that has been implemented throughout our districts in Huntington Beach over the last few years. However, we're looking at making this pilot program that we're doing here today potentially be something that the districts would adopt district-wide, making it a mandatory requirement for all the youth riders that are parking their e-bikes on campus to get this important safety training. They're here for about an hour or so, and we feel that it could save their lives. So thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to introduce Amy Frias from Chalk, and she's going to give you some words. Thank you.
Hello, thank you guys so much for being here. At Chalk, we're seeing some very dangerous consequences of untrained underage e-bike users, and the surge in trauma cases really should be a wake-up call for all parents. Chalk has seen a huge increase in an e-bike related trauma since 2019, a sharp and alarming trend. The numbers just keep climbing. We're already at, I think we're at 79 trauma visits for e-bikes, and it's not even July. So we're slated to go a little even higher than last year. So that's not a number we want. It's just, that's what's happening. Nearly half of the e-bike crashes involved untrained underage riders. Many were not wearing helmets. More than half of these kids were not even wearing a helmet. That is terrifying. Most patients are between the ages of 12 and 15 years old, but trauma cases can span as young as age 10 years, and that was a pedestrian that was hit by an e-bike, a 10-month-old child. So it's not just the e-bike riders themselves that can be at dangers, it's the pedestrians. So we have to be very mindful about all of that. Serious head injuries become more common due to high speeds, lack of helmets, and no formal training. The understanding is that e-bike injuries are more like severe car crashes. These are not your regular bike injuries. Because of the speed, you're looking at more severe injuries. We're talking concussions, we're talking fractures. We had an ortho doc that did a big paper on the patella, the top of the knee that was shattered. These are not things that we normally see in kids, these types of injuries. They're severe, they take a long time to heal, and it's just very scary. This is important, and it's critical because prevention, education, and proper training prevent injuries and save lives. These kids, then that way they won't reach our trauma center, which is what we want. We want to keep kids out of the hospital. And it sounds funny that I work at a hospital, but we don't want to see these injuries. So programs like this one today are so helpful because it does include the parents, and parents need to be involved in purchasing e-bikes and understanding what an e-bike can actually do. And as Mike said, get on an e-bike. Parents, get on there and actually feel that speed that comes from those e-bikes. Regular bikes go 12 miles per hour. And if you're Lance Armstrong, you can go 16, 18 miles per hour. An e-bike goes 20 to 28 miles per hour. We're talking significantly faster. And with speed comes more severe injuries. Now I'd like to introduce Drew Paulos, Head of Community Marketing at Super 73, and Dorothy Lee, General Manager of Rad Powerbikes.
Again, my name is Drew Paulos with Super 73, Head of Community. And at Super 73, rider safety is the heart of everything that we do. As leaders in the e-bike space, we recognize a growing need for education, especially as more families and young riders join this movement. That's why we've made it a priority to invest in hands-on e-bike safety training alongside with local communities, schools, and partners to teach responsible riding habits, helmet use, and road awareness. We're not just building bikes. We're helping build a culture of safe, confident riders for the future. Dorothy?
Hi, I'm Dorothy Lee. I'm the General Manager for Rad Powerbikes. We're located in Pacific City, and we are so stoked to be part of this program. We're all about promoting safety. So we really appreciate the Huntington Beach Police Department's support and leadership on this issue. And we're proud to support to put safety and education first. We'll also be here Friday as well. And please stop by our tent. We are going to be raffling off a free e-bike at the conclusion of the program Friday afternoon. So once again, thank you. Drop in and visit us at Pacific City. We do sell Class 2 and Class 3 e-bikes. We promote safeties first. All of our bikes have hydraulic brakes. Yeah, we're super stoked. Thank you.
Thanks again, guys, for coming out. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, or I can get you one-on-one after this interview. The kids will be out here being taught by law enforcement, so if you want to get some shots of them, you can. I understand some families are okay with being interviewed. If you want me to try to get you some interviews, we can do that as well. Again, just the message here is that everybody should be considering this course. As the mayor said, we have not had any fatalities for young riders in the city, so that is a bonus. And you know what is super surprising is that a lot of, like Amy was saying, a lot of parents have never even rode the bikes that they're buying their children. So that's why we're out here. Sure, if you'd like.
Great question, and we have thought of that, and actually that is something that we've been doing because we believe that a lot of the riders just don't know better, and we feel that education is the most important thing to get rather than to write them a citation where they're going to be paying a lot of money or their parents are going to be paying a lot of money. So we actually have a diversion program in place that mirrors the written testing that we were doing before. So naturally, this test would take the place of that. So that way we could reiterate those safety skills that could ultimately get a rider hurt while at the same time teaching them some practical hands-on training and bringing awareness and also getting their parents involved. Thank you again. Yes. So we've had this is our fourth event in the last month or so, and so we've actually had riders show up with those illegal bikes, and we've not turned them away, but we've relied upon our partners like Super 73 and Rad to use one of their bikes that they have on hand here as a demo bike, and so we've then given them that education. And in all honesty, it doesn't stop at the parents because even the law enforcement officers, many of them get confused with wattage. You know, it's got pedals, it's got pegs. They all look kind of similar to the person who's untrained in it. And so it's kind of across the board for us. We look at it from the level of we just need to get everyone involved and get everyone on the same page from law enforcement to the community. And just so that way we know what's legal and what's not legal. And that's what this program helps to address.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah.